Welcome to Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each weekend, we look into sports, wellness, and, of course, fitness. Well, this week, the spotlight's on Logan High School, particularly the track and field, other things, two outstanding student athletes that I think exemplify, personify exactly what you do when you get involved in school. They've advanced deep into the postseason. They've done every single thing you can imagine. Without further ado, Tori Witcraft and Enya Szymanski, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Well, as we tape the show here on June 17th, a lot of things happening in the world. World is hurting. World is a mess. You're not directly involved, of course, but the world will be yours. Future is in your hands. And one of the things certainly affecting everybody throughout the world is the coronavirus. And it really impacted you in an emotional way, both of you, because it took away everything you've been building for in the spring season, Enya.
Yeah, it did. We did kind of see it coming, though. We knew that the coronavirus was coming. We didn't think it was going to take away our entire senior year or the entire spring sports season. We thought the worst it could get was we lose indoor season. So it was disappointing when we heard that it's done.
But you excelled in tennis, but you also excelled in track and field, and you were positioned to have a breakout year. And you were looking for that, you trained, and so on. It must have been just a huge emotional letdown.
It was a letdown, yeah. I was very upset.
And the same thing with you, Tori, because you just have sort of gotten into the sport of track and field, because you came out late, and then you just shocked the world with your excellence. And so you were building to have a tremendous season also, and you had trained powerlifting and so on, and all of a sudden it disappeared.
Yeah, it was definitely disappointing. Like you said, I didn't join until my junior year of high school because I played softball the first two, but that one season I did have really got me super excited about the sport, and even though my senior year did get canceled, which I was definitely devastated for a long while about, I'm lucky enough to have another 4 years, so.
You are. Well, we're going to talk about that, but Tori's highlights: senior thrower, state qualifier as a junior, sectionals, regional, personal best in the discus and shot put, and you had good coaching, you had certainly a gift, but you worked hard for that, and you prepared by powerlifting, and you prepared by improving your mechanics.
Yeah, I definitely think that if you want something, you have to work hard for it, and if you don't, then you're not going to see the best of what you can do. So I was super excited for senior year just because I worked so hard to see what I could do, but there's always another opportunity around the corner.
Well, it took away any senior activities, and probably good that they took away senior skip day, which back in my day we did that, but they took away, the virus took away any of the excitement of being a senior and graduating and banquets and so on.
Yeah, it was very disappointing. I'm still kind of pretty upset about it, but I'm having hopeful that we might still have a graduation at the end of July. It's really not looking like it at this point. But, we worked since preschool to have a high school graduation, just not be able to have one, to have an online one that we just watched on YouTube. It's sad, but at the same time, we can see the bigger picture, that it goes above us. It's like people are dying, and this is a pandemic. This isn't just about our senior class.
There's another profound issue, and it affects lacrosse. It's changed dramatically demographically since I was young, and it's changed in a good way, because now it's kind of a United Nations model of people from all over the world living here. Is there racial issues in lacrosse, Tori?
There definitely is. I mean, there's going to be something everywhere you go. People not treating everybody like their neighbor or their fellow friend, but I mean, in high school I never really personally saw any, but there's definitely people that don't treat other people.
And you being a person of substance and depth and spirituality, you you know that is not accepted in biblical scripture.
Yeah, I just think that during this whole thing, I shared a message on my Instagram story about, it was a Bible passage about just treating your fellow human like your fellow disciple, like your neighbor. Jesus treated everybody how he wanted to be treated. I think that's very important, especially in the world today.
One thing I like about you too, Enya, is that you, as Tori, you treat people with dignity. You just, you are impressive because in a quiet way, you send a message that who you are and what you stand for. You have deep values too.
Yeah, I definitely think that everyone needs to be treated equally, obviously, but with all the protests and everything going on, it does give me hope that there's a better future soon coming out there, and it breaks my heart with everything that's going on right now, and it stresses me out, not only with the coronavirus, but with the police brutality and everything, and it's very overwhelming.
What can lacrosse do? You just graduated from high school weeks ago. What can the lacrosse public school system do to enhance social justice?
That's a loaded question. I don't really think it's for people like me to really take a stance right now. I think it's for like black people who have been fighting for rights their entire life to actually do the talking and like do the protesting and fight for what they deserve. But I think it's just common sense. Treat everybody with love and respect. And in our schools, we had a walkout this year, and I think that was very good to get that word out. But I personally was upset because it didn't seem like it made that much of a difference. I think it just got the word out, but there were still instances at Logan that I heard about.
So, Enya, you're on your way to Mankato. We're going to get into more depth on that, as well as your entire senior career shortly here. But you're on your way to Mankato, and things will look different because of the virus. Things may look different because of all the racial tensions and so on, in terms of increasing social justice, increasing awareness to people. You're going to see two different approaches, perhaps, to Mankato State University.
Can you rephrase that?
You're going to see a different style because of the coronavirus?
Yes.
You're going to see maybe a different style of social justice.
Mm-hmm. I would hope so, because I know that Mankato has been emailing us a lot of emails about like what they're doing about the situation and what they're going to do about the coronavirus, how half of the classes are online, other half are going to be in person, but everywhere around the campus you have to be wearing a mask unless you're in your own personal dorm room.
So, certainly the precarious situation is fluid, meaning it could change any minute, and we're seeing that in lacrosse as the rates have spiked a little bit. I've talked to some people at UWL. You're on your way there, Tori, and they're at least expecting to resume classes, but there's a level of uncertainty there too.
Yeah, like Enya said, they've been emailing me, kind of trying to keep their students updated. As of right now, we can move in and stuff. That's all a go. But like she said, we have to wear masks around, and big lecture halls and stuff like that are definitely going to be cut down at least in half, and some are going to be online.
So does that give you pause, both of you, to like you might not be able to experience the freshman rush of going away to college?
For sure.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be the same experience as I've been like expecting forever, but it might be nice, kind of to be really calm and go in there instead of think, I'm so overwhelmed, there's so many people here, I have no idea what I'm doing, because now it's not only the freshmen that have no idea what they're doing, but it's everyone else.
Does that worry you then? You're going into the next chapter of your life, and so even without these issues that the world is facing, it's still going into a different chapter of your life is still difficult. I mean, homesickness and, just a schedule that's different. I mean, is that entering your mind at all?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely am a type of person that likes to have a schedule and have things in order. So I'm excited to be able to control my own schedule and to live on my own rather than a house with 3 other boys. But I'm definitely excited for it, but at the same time nervous.
How about Tori? you were recruited to be an athlete there, and you probably have a little bit of apprehension maybe too in the next chapter of your life.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of uncertainty. I've been keeping in touch with my coaches and stuff, but I told them I'm not a big online learner, so if things were to have been all online, I wouldn't have gone until maybe second semester, but thankfully I'm going to get somewhat in-person learning, so.
You have that personality, don't you? That you like face-to-face contact.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
So I don't think, I mean, the times I've had you in class, there's never a problem in getting Tori to raise her hand. Sometimes she doesn't even raise her hand, she just blurts it out, which is okay too.
Yeah.
But you're both people type of person, so you'll do well. Well, we're going to step aside just for a minute. When we come back more here on 7 River Sports.
With our busy lives, it's a comfort to know that we can still remember loved ones in a traditional way with a monument. Lewiston Monuments in Lewiston, Minnesota has been helping families purchase a monument for over 4 generations. You'll find a large selection of beautiful granite, marble, and bronze monuments, all at competitive prices. And they're a full-service company, so they also do straightening, cleaning, and repair of monuments. Stop in or call for a no-obligation consultation, or visit lewistonmonument.com for more information.
You know, the thing I'm most proud of when I think about our company is the reputation that we've been able to build in this community. Our technicians have done a great job going out and performing magnificent jobs for the customer. And our customers have rewarded us with some really great reviews online.
We have over 150 5-star reviews online right now. Our technicians do a great job out there, and our reviews show it.
We can say without hesitation, when you choose Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to 7 River Sports, a great show here this week with Enya Szymanski, Tori Witcraft, Logan High School student athletes. Enya Szymanski, tennis and track, all throughout your high school years, tennis captain, track and field, triple jump, and you received a special award, the Angie Peterson Dedication Award, because of your personality, your commitment, and just what you stand for. That must have been special.
It was special. I wasn't really expecting it, but I was really glad that I was able to receive it.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed, I didn't even realize this, but in the 2019 season, you were abroad.
I was, yes.
In Europe.
Yes.
Share your story on that.
My cousin actually did a semester at sea for her college program, and my mom and I were talking, and we're like, why not go pick her up when she lands in Amsterdam, which would be her last spot. And so that's what we did, but we made a whole trip out of it for about 3 weeks or so, closer to a month. And so that was upsetting that I would have to miss the majority of my junior season, except for 1 or 2 meets at the end that Cam was able to squeeze me into.
What a life learning experience that was, though.
Yeah, it was awesome.
My goodness, yeah. And you were all conference in tennis. Something that, talk about well-rounded, diverse, taking advantage of every opportunity, both Tori and Enya. Enya, forensics, top 5% of your class, honor roll every year, athlete of the month. And you're involved in several co-curricular activities, clubs, FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, National Honor Society, and how'd you find time for all of that?
It was difficult to find time for a lot of things, but actually Tori was in almost every single club I was in, so we kind of did it all together. Yeah. Especially FCCLA and FCA.
And and Tori, volleyball, softball. I remember you playing softball. I was umpiring games and talking to you while you were on powerlifting, shot put, honors, academic letter. I'm not surprised. Spirit award. Oh my goodness. Is there anybody else that was even considered for that award?
I don't know. I mean, I just tried my best to get the school involved to get hyped about certain things. So
you came to school every day with that huge smile, the size of a small town, and you electrified the student body. So when it came time for pep assemblies, the pep advisor, which is usually a teacher, is like, Tori, just take care of it.
Yeah, all 4 years I was in Pep Club, which is basically planning all the assemblies, everything Pep-wise, planning homecoming and all that. So I was definitely part of the assemblies, kind of emceeing them.
You sure were. You took advantage of everything. You're going to be missed. Hopefully there's somebody that can, maybe there's 6 people that need to take your job. And you're going to college. We talked about that a little bit in the first segment. And a good friend of mine, Szymanski, said this about you, Tori. What a great fit. You have a tremendous attitude. You have, which I like, to quote him, you have a good, like a chip on your shoulder in a good way. And he's excited, and you are going to be an Eagle thrower.
Yes, I'm very excited, and Szymanski is actually the person who kind of talked me into going out for track in high school as well, kind of seeing him in the weight room every day, so I'm so excited to work with him and see what he has to offer.
Yeah, and head coach Tom Kammer, a good friend of mine too, at Logan, talked about Enya, your accomplishments as a track athlete, tennis player, fierce competitor, always trying to do better. Started on the 400-meter relay team as a freshman, and just an incredible athlete. Pretty nice.
Yeah, I guess. I've actually had a lot of concussions, so I'm not able to be the competitor that I wanted to be for my sophomore, junior, and senior year. But I was able to probably give it all I got my freshman year, which was nice.
Speaking of that, I know you had some concussions, and so talking about like what are setbacks, did you reprioritize things when you had those?
100%. I was actually a really big soccer and hockey player, so track wasn't even a thought to me. But then going into high school, I was no longer able to play hockey or soccer or any of the really sports I was really passionate about at the time. But it was really sad because I wasn't able to do the things that I've been loving my entire life, but I'm glad I was able to make the new teammates because of the new sports I started to participate in.
You have any setbacks in your life, Tori?
I mean...
Or has your life been all rosy?
Not major ones like Enya, like concussions have really brought her sports thing kind of in a different direction, but no major injuries on my part that I can think of, so...
If you think back to maybe all of us have had people that have inspired us through the years, role models, inspirational people. Who has inspired you, Tori?
Definitely my 2 track coaches, Brock Harney and Kevin Anderson, as well as Aurora Waite. She was my cousin, or is my cousin, and she definitely helped me with everything I needed just coming out for track late, and she was definitely one of my favorite teammates as well, pushed me hard every single meet and got me to where I was, so. Know
her quite well, the whole family. And so defining moments in your 4 years is probably, as a junior, advancing to state.
Yeah.
What an experience.
It was definitely unexpected. The whole season I was kind of just setting different goals for myself, and then one after another I'd reach. So getting to state was the opportunity of a lifetime, and I was definitely so thankful to have made it. So
student athletes at your level are on a platform. They're elevated somewhat because you got a lot of people looking at you, watching you, trying to someday, like young people watching a show. How do I become a Tori Witcraft and Enya Szymanski someday? And you have what it takes. Is that a hard thing to know that you are a lot, like it says in the Bible, to much that is given, much is expected?
It's definitely at some points in your life nerve-wracking just to know that you have an audience and you want to live up to it, but for me personally, I love helping people and I love leading people, so the leadership aspect of all of it and helping underclassmen kind of just know their role and get them to the highest level that they can get to is definitely like one of the greatest benefits of being in sports.
Favorite opponent, Enya Szymanski?
Probably Central, I would say, for track. Not only, I love how we're both in lacrosse, and just that idea of competing with one another is really awesome. And I know a lot of the girls on the track team, they aren't only really good athletes, but they're really good people too.
One of my favorite athletes, and I have lots of them, and certainly my grandchildren are at the top, but another guy's name is Zach Slevin. He's been on the show many times.
Yeah.
And he's one of your favorite opponents, too. How is that relationship in terms of being both competitive?
Oh my gosh. We bump heads constantly, but I also think that's what makes us better. Like, we compete in every single aspect in our life, whether it's who can cut an apple faster or like run up the stairs or just anything. And definitely with me not being able to compete as much as I would like because of my injuries, I love watching him compete, and I love being just as competitive as he is with him, like his races. He seems never nervous before any of his races, but I'm holding all the nerves in, and I feel like I'm going to throw up because I just want him to do his absolute best and compete hard.
So do I. He's special just like you are. Philosophy of life. I think knowing you, it's probably something like poise and self-control.
I was going to say self-control is strength, because being able to control your temper or your attitude when you're talking to a teacher or when you're on the court or when you're running is definitely, it can build mental and emotional strength, which will make you overall a better person and an athlete.
What's something our viewers be like, I didn't know that about Enya?
I think like peanuts or anything healthy besides fruit should not be allowed on a dessert. It's like an absolute sin to me. I think
Ruins a dessert?
It ruins a
What's your
dessert.
favorite dessert?
Oh, that's so stressful. Like, I can't answer. Like, all desserts are amazing. It depends on the day, unless they have nuts on them.
Tori, do you eat dessert?
Big eater myself, I have to say. Yes, I'm a big dessert person.
So, you're a leader too, and if you had a saying that sort of you would like to identify with who Tori Witcraft is, what would that be?
This is a hard one. Probably, I don't know. I don't really know what to say for that.
Well, it's probably something to do with living every day to the utmost.
For sure. I think everybody needs to take advantage of your opportunities.
Is there ever a day when you wake up and you're not in a good mood?
Yes, definitely, but
Like a bad hair day.
definitely not a morning person, but as the day goes on, I guess, I just think people need to take advantage of the day they get, what God has blessed them with, and live it to the fullest.
Amen.
10 years from now, what is Enya Szymanski going to be doing?
I'm hoping to either be a school psychologist or potentially own my own business to be a therapist, a cognitive behavioral therapist, to just help other people with anxiety or depression.
You haven't had any of that, have you?
I have struggled with anxiety, which has led to some depression over my life.
A lot of people have anxiety issues. I mean, including me. I mean, I'm working full speed all the time too, so that's not anything unusual. 10 years from now, what are you going to be doing, Tori?
Hopefully, teaching. So I'm going to school to be a Phy-Ed teacher. So hopefully teaching either Phy-Ed or health. I don't know, just kind of being that role model for students that I needed growing up. So
the best part of this job as the host of Seven Rivers Sports for 10 years now is the fact that I'm able to meet people like Enya Szymanski, visit with them, get to know them up close and personal, and Tori Witcraft. That's a gift that's been given to me, and I appreciate that. So, it's great to have you on the show, Tori Witcraft, Enya Szymanski.
Thank you.
thank you for having us.
We'll be back with some closing thoughts right after this.
You know, the thing I'm most proud of when I think about our company is the reputation that we've been able to build in this community. Our technicians have done a great job going out and performing magnificent jobs for the customer. And our customers have rewarded us with some really great reviews online.
We have over 150 five-star reviews online right now. Our technicians do a great job out there, and our reviews show it.
We can say without hesitation, when you choose Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll be glad you did.
When you're faced with the decision of selecting a monument to honor someone dear to you, call Lewiston Monuments for a no-obligation consultation. Lewiston Monument is a full-service monument company, serving families in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin for over 4 generations. You'll find beautiful granite, marble, and bronze memorials, all at competitive prices. Their experts can help you design the perfect and unique memorial. Lewiston Monument. Call today or on the web at lewistonmonument.com.
I hope you enjoyed this week's show. Well, next week, we take a look at the story of one of the very best track and field athletes to ever wear a GET Red Hawk uniform, and that is Davis Wente, also the Gatorade Athlete of the Year in the state of Wisconsin. That's it this week here on Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping you are staying safe and healthy, and like me, waiting patiently to get our lives back to some form of normalcy. See you next week here on Seven Rivers Sports.